Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back. And I am back in North Carolina after evacuating to 10 Mile, Tennessee, which is about, I'd say 8 or 9 hours west of here, where my in-laws live. And we stayed there well after the storm just because there was no power here and there was still some flooding going on. And for the most part, my house made it through okay. We did lose some shingles. I lost a shutter off the top floor, ripped off the house. But as you can tell, a lot of trees went down. Some people weren't quite as lucky. Some people got away with, no damage at all, and other people had severe damage. And believe it or not, in that direction is the Atlantic Ocean, about a mile down the road. So we are really close to the coast, and we were extremely lucky. I've seen tons of houses where the roof is just missing and houses that got crushed, and it's just terrible what that storm did to my area. And I've spent a great deal of time just cleaning up my yard. There's a lot of yard waste from the pine trees dropping needles and tree limbs. I've been breaking my back trying to get it back to normalcy. You can tell I have a lot of cleanup left to do, especially in the backyard, where you can see this is what the front yard looked like until I cleaned it up. It's just tree limbs everywhere, and we have a tree over there on our property line, so it could have been a lot worse. When I was down in, over in Tennessee, didn't have a lot of great luck fishing. I did catch a couple fish that were coming into the cove, but for the most part the bite was really tough. I've noticed some years fish just don't like coming up into that cove, and I did try to go out in a kayak, and anytime I exited the cove and went out onto the main lake, there would usually be power boaters that were going by and leaving huge wakes. They don't seem to really care too much about anything going on around them. And a couple years ago, my son got swamped out of the kayak that he was using on that lake because somebody got too close to him, and it really just made me nervous to go out there in a cheap Walmart sit-in boat with such expensive gear that could have potentially end up in the bottom of the lake, because that's what happened to my son. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like the people on that lake are either oblivious or just don't care if somebody's out there in a kayak, and it can be very dangerous. My son got swamped, and he actually lost his phone and a bunch of other stuff, and he actually couldn't get back into the kayak. Had a lot of trouble. Thankfully somebody came and helped him get back in, but it just makes kayak fishing on Watts Bar really sketchy to me. And unfortunately my in-laws didn't seem too interested in taking out their power boat. They're not into fishing, so I had to make do, but I didn't have a whole lot of luck. And eventually we came back here. Alright, so this is the September Outsider tackle box, the angler box for this month, and you probably have noticed I haven't been doing a lot of these lately, and the reason, it's been kind of something I've been trying to work through, and I'm hoping maybe some of my subscribers or just random viewers that stop by can help me out with. I've been noticing more and more that even though I get a lot of views for my product reviews and these unboxing videos, that doesn't translate all the time into subscribers. A lot of times I get more views than I actually have subscribers, which tells me that these product reviews and unboxing videos and stuff, they're getting what I like to call hit and run viewers. In other words, they're checking out the content and they're just rolling out. And while I'm happy to help people with these reviews, I do want to further my channel, so it's sort of becoming a conflict of interest for me to promote, or I wouldn't say promote, but well, yeah, I guess you could call it promoting. I'm not officially promoting anything, I'm just showing off tackle that I like, stuff that I'm getting, stuff that works for me, stuff that doesn't. And I'm really questioning whether or not I want to continue doing these type of videos if I'm not really getting any attachment from the viewers. So, you know, it's one of those things where I'm not really seeing a positive from doing these videos anymore. When I first started doing them, they were a lot of fun, but now that as my channel is sort of progressing, I'm looking for ways to make my channel better, and if the viewers are just watching it and leaving, it's not really helping my channel out. So I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I want to do this or continue to do unboxing videos, product reviews, things like that, and just go more of a just pure fishing channel. You know, if you guys have any input out there, I'd be happy to hear it. And you know, if you do want to give me input, just don't be a jerk. You know, I'm sure most people know when they're being a jerk when they write in the comments. If you're a jerk, I don't really want to hear what you have to say. Let's go ahead and open this box up for September, and I will tell you I have fished some of the items in here already. So our first bait is a GoPro hybrid frog, and I'll tell you, I have fished this already. This is a really cool idea, but it didn't really work for me. And I have fished this. I put everything back in the box. So basically what you have is you have basically a floating plug with exchangeable rear end pieces. So you have a popping frog head or a popper head, and then you have this sort of rubber skirt, and you can swap between sort of a popper skirt and a frog skirt. And inside the body there's a little compartment that you can pop open. I'm not going to pop it open, but you can see that little black thing. That's where you put your glow plugs in, your little glow sticks, or you can leave the rattle in there. Really cool idea. It just slides on like that. You do have to kind of line up the end piece right there where you hook the treble hooks on. Oops, not coming through. Let's see if I can do this the right way. So you just push that through the end, eventually, there it goes. So you have these two sort of places where you attach the hooks. They're not split rings, they're kind of open bend rings. Not really rings, I don't know what you call them. But you have two of these weed guarded treble hooks that you don't need a split ring plier or anything special to put them on. You just sort of start them, and then they just sort of pop through. It takes a little while to get them on. It looks easy, but it takes me a little while to get this actually on there. You got to be a little bit careful. You don't want to hook yourself. So you just kind of feed that through and it pops on. And you have two places for two sets of treble hooks. Now I went out yesterday and I tried this frog out, and you know, it was one of those things where it looks like it'll work really well, and it kind of did. My problem with this is with the weed guards on there, I was getting short strikes and the fish just weren't taking those hooks. But I think the worst thing of all was when you casted this thing out, it would flip upside down and it wouldn't float right side up. So it became extremely frustrating. I didn't get to spend a lot of time with this bait, but I did get one bite on it, and I just couldn't take much more fishing at the ponds near my house because with all the flood water, we have had a huge amount of mosquitoes, and in the video you can just see them flying around. I was getting eaten alive. So I think this is a cool idea, just not quite right. It needs some tweaks to it. It needs to be weighted on the belly somehow. I also noticed after a few casts, this rubber skirt started sliding down, so I was constantly having to push it back up. Didn't use the popper tail on it, but I'll keep checking it out. But from what I can tell, it's a good idea, but it's got some flaws on it. It needs a little tweaking, I think. So our next item that I got to try out yesterday, and this is the only other one I tried yesterday before the mosquitoes ran me off. This is a Jenko Fishing Rip Knocker. This is a chrome lipless, and it looks like a nice bait. You know, I don't see anything wrong with it. I tried it out. It worked fine, but there was so much debris in my pond that all I was doing was dragging up tons of stuff off the bottom that the storm dumped in there. I would love to use this at the quarry when I get a chance, but right now it's flooded, it's not open, and I don't know when it's going to be open. But this would be a really great fall bait to use when I get back to the quarry. And we have fairly clear water, they'll be able to see that shine in the sunlight. Good rattle in it. I fully expect that to work just fine. So now we're going to get into the stuff that I didn't get a chance to use. We have Bama Baits 6-inch Bama Lizard and Burple. I always love the name of that, Burple. So, now me personally, I always thought Burple was like a black purple, but this looks like a bubblegum purple, so I guess that's what they call Burple. But for me, Burple has always been black purple, like a really dark purple. That's kind of a cool color. It's really kind of striking. I'm sure that would stand out really well in the water. It's a really nice looking bait. It's a little lighter than the Southern Tackle ones I had. This is more of like the same weight as maybe a Zoom lizard. But that'll be a good bait to try just about anywhere. So we got some stickers, GoPro, Bama Baits, Jenko Fishing again. Next up, and we've seen these before, these are Z-Man Crusties. To be honest with you, I have not had the greatest luck with these. I don't know why. I've tried rigging them on the Ned rig. I've put them on the end of jigs. I just haven't gotten any bites off of them. I'm sure they do work, they're just not working for me. But that's another bait that I've seen before. And again, I don't know why they're not working for me. They look really good, and they should, but they're not. So next up we got some, these are some interesting hooks. These are Sprout weedless hooks in 2/0. It's a 4-pack. These are kind of cool. I'm not really sure what I would use these for. To be honest with you, these aren't hooks that I'm super familiar with using, to be honest with you. I suppose you could, I don't know. These are just not hooks that I typically use. You know, they do have a weed guard on them. I suppose you could probably pitch and flip that maybe. You know, if you snelled it on the back end and pitch and flip stuff on that hook. I'm not really sure what to use that for. It's not one of the hooks that I normally use. It's a cool idea. I might try them. I'll have to explore that. It doesn't look like a flipping hook to me, but that doesn't mean you can't use it as one. Next up we have a Gets It small fry spinner. It's an inline spinner with an orange and green outside. I will put the prices at the end of the video. To be honest with you, I don't use a lot of these. This is something that I've probably neglected since I was a kid. I know that they do work, and it's kind of a cool color that would probably attract something. And I got a nice gold spoon on it. And our last bait is a Jenko Fishing spinnerbait. It's a 1 ounce. And again, this is something I haven't been having a lot of luck with. Lord knows I've been throwing the heck out of them. But I just haven't really had a whole lot of luck with it. Off more in the fall, but in the summer I just really wasn't getting a lot of action on the spinnerbaits. And that's weird because in Maryland I get a lot of hits on spinnerbaits, but not here so much. So that is a really interesting, it's got a double willy leaf, silver and gold chartreuse lead head, and look at that skirt. It's got a really long piece to it. You might be able to get away without using a trailer on that because of that long skirt. Really cool looking bait. I can't wait to try it when the quarry opens. Probably not something that would work very well in my little local ponds. But nevertheless, a nice looking bait. So that's going to do it for my unboxing for this month. In the comment section, if you're a subscriber or if you're just somebody swinging by checking out my channel, please give me some input if you would like me to continue doing these unboxing and product reviews. And if you could, and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It really helps me out and motivates me to try new things and want to push to do better with the channel. And hopefully next time I will have some new videos for you guys. Like I said, right now the mosquitoes are horrific and I'm just getting eaten alive. The quarry is closed and a lot of other places are closed. There was a spot I had up in New Bern which got flooded out. So it might be a while before I get back to where I was, but I definitely want to do some fishing and I'll make the best of what I can. So thanks for watching, y'all. Till next time.